let's speak about Workhorse, baby! What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and I got the clothing line to prove that fact. And today we are speaking about the one, the only, the Workhorse. So in today's video we're going to be going through quite a few things. If you've been on the channel for a while, you remember we used to just speak about articles quite a lot. So today I have 4 articles that I want to go through briefly, all of which have both bullish and bearish points. I want to expand a little bit on the order from Pritchard, and I want to, look at the bigger picture here. Let's not focus purely on 500 orders. I want to focus on what that could mean for Workhorse going forward and the real implications of this. And then towards the end of the video, very briefly, we're going to bring up a few points that I found interesting from the Q3 earnings report. But the main thing I want to speak about today is these articles. Just sit back, see what the analysts or the article writers are saying about the company and see if we agree or disagree. I think doing this sometimes and getting multiple points of views is really important, regardless of whether you are bullish or bearish. The more information you have, the easier it's going to be to form your own thoughts and opinions, and the more informed you're going to be. So let's do it, baby. Right before we get into the video, can I please ask you, my friend, to hit that juicy like button? It's free. If you're new around here, please consider hitting that scrumptious looking red subscribe button, my friends, and joining the family of investors. And I'd love for you to drop me a comment down below, baby. Let me know how you feel about Workhorse at current prices. Now with that being said, let's just get into our first article of the day, which you can probably tell is quite bullish. Workhorse Group is the next EV stock you need to buy. So let's see what this author has to say. The first sentence I actually find interesting. The Biden victory is a positive for the EV industry, and I think a lot of people feel the exact same way. But I think it's going to be bigger for, the really big established players. Tesla in particular. I honestly don't think it's going to matter too much for Workhorse. Now, hopefully it will, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see how the next while plays out. So they go on to say in Q3 earnings, the company brought in over $565,000 during the quarter, which, it was $4,000 a year prior. If you went year over year, it sounds very impressive, but no, it's not what we were looking for whatsoever. If you're not aware, that equated to 7 deliveries, okay? 5 of them went to this company right here called Pritchard, who we will speak about later on, and the other 2 actually went to Ryder, so quite interesting to see that. The net loss was $84.1 million. Now, the large majority of this came from interest expense. That increased all the way up to $74.3 million. So it's been said that looking forward, the company will not meet its previous guidance for the calendar 2020 year, which was 300 to 400 vehicles. Now, we did not get an update. Who knows, maybe we will by the end of the year, maybe we won't. But we can assume now that we're not going to hit anywhere close to that 300 in my opinion. So in the short term, that's not very good for us investors. There was this number we were looking towards. I've made it clear on the channel quite a few times. I thought Q4 was going to be very important. I still do. We have to get 300, 400 out of our head, but we need to see some Q4 deliveries. Unless some really big news comes out, aka something along the lines of a USPS contract, if Q4 deliveries aren't up massively, it's not going to be good in the short term in my opinion. But guys, do keep in mind, this is my biggest holding. I'm long term in them. You've probably heard this a million times from me anyway. Workhorse is ready for a strong 2021. Okay, Workhorse CEO Dwayne Hughes says they've already got new suppliers lined up and excess capacity will be available as soon as the first quarter of 2020 begins. Now this is in regards to battery suppliers largely, because if we actually go back to the Q3 earnings, one of the reasons we are no longer on target for our previous target of 300 400 vehicles was the inability of their primary battery supplier to meet volumes due to capacity issues and RONI related issues. But baby, Workhorse just received a purchase order for 500 vehicles from Pritchard companies to be delivered next year. That is very exciting, my friends. So let's just get into why that is so exciting. So this right here is Pritchard, okay? A national automotive enterprise, how they describe themselves. Family owned and operated since 1913. Over 100 years old this company right here is. So how do these guys work? Because you guys may not understand. So first of all, a customer will contact them, tell them their needs and discover how we can take care of them. You will partner up, develop your custom service and supply plan and give them the green light. And then your fleet appears when, how, and where you need it. So what's so exciting about this is they've ordered 500 vehicles from Workhorse after testing out essentially 5 of them. And these could go to numerous, and I mean numerous different customers. Guys, this could lead to, thousands more vehicles down the line by Pritchard themselves, but it could also lead to long-term relationships being built with new customers very quickly. I do not think we can overlook just how big this right here is. It's just like Ryder, except on a much bigger scale as of this moment in time. And in the first place, 500 vehicles for Workhorse right now is nothing to sneeze at. So this just opens us up to this whole new world of new customers, new fleet managers. And this will be financed by Hitachi Capital America. How long on the channel have I been saying how big it is to be working with Hitachi? It's already beginning to pay off. A 500 trick order more than likely would not have happened without Hitachi, my friends. We believe this initial sale is just the start of this channel's growth. We are also encouraged by the results of a positive dealer survey administered by Hitachi Capital America that look favourably on the long-term prospects for the EV delivery truck market, and in particular Workhorse within that ecosystem. So if you watched the Q3 call like I did live on YouTube, more than 2,000 new people were in there live, you would know that they've actually been doing these dealer surveys, and a lot of people are very happy with the truck that Workhorse is providing. And I mean, Pritchard clearly are one of those customers, considering they've essentially tested 5 of them and put an order in for 500 pretty much immediately. That all happened within the space of a few months, because we didn't know about this in Q2. So I don't think this can be overlooked, my friends, and I do think this is massive. As I already said, 500 vehicles for Workhorse right now is very considerable, but think 2 or 3 years down the line what this could mean. This could be turning into thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of orders. Okay, next one, a bearish headline. Why Workhorse Group stock plunged 39.2% in October. Oh baby. They started off by saying this: the only significant news about the company in October was its announcement of a $200 million financing deal with Antara Capital. We've spoke about this on the channel numerous times. Funds are for 4% convertible notes, which may come down to 2.75%, which would convert the stock at $35.29 per share. This could potentially dilute Workhorse shareholders down the road. It's not going to right now, and it won't until the company is worth a whole lot more. But I mean, in October they also received approval from the New York Truck Voucher Incentive Program, and they submitted their type certification for their horsefly. So be it the other wouldn't have known about the purchase order for the 500 trucks, but yeah, more than that happened in October. Workhorse has been a highly speculative automotive stock all year, very true, and this kind of drop can happen quickly to such companies when they fail to meet the market's lofty expectations. And I don't think this is Workhorse's fault, and they actually responded well to Q3. I know a lot of people were disappointed, but I was actually very happy with Q3. I said it on the channel, I didn't really care what the revenues were. I wanted to see some good news, and we got it. But for the long term, I see management's decision to strike while the stock was hot and shore up the balance sheet as positive. Again, something I've said so many times on this channel. Workhorse is now in a fantastic cash position going forward, especially if we do begin to get our sales up. This was necessary for growth. Why Workhorse stock is back on the road to $30. Recent research led by Neil Rietman of the University of St. Gallen, Switzerland highlights overall 30% of the worldwide passenger vehicle fleet will be EVs in 2032. Now this will vary largely from country to country. I know China, for example, I believe will want upwards of 40% by 2030. We can also expect now that with Biden in presidency relatively soon, you know, he's expected to make environmental protection one of his top priorities, which could say very good things for the growth of electric vehicles. And of course, we could see many government incentives which could lead to many big contracts for Workhorse, or obviously their competitors down the road. But one thing is certain, the EV market is growing, and it is growing very, very quickly. Let's also keep in mind Workhorse has 10% ownership in Lordstown Motors. So to an extent now, Lordstown Motors is going to affect the stock price of Workhorse, and we all know Lordstown got beat down pretty hard recently, but I do expect it to make a nice comeback soon. Now this one here, Workhorse has a compelling story if you tune out the news. Now this did come out just before earnings came out, just so that you're aware. Workhorse should have a large addressable market for its fleet of electric light commercial vehicles, specifically the last mile industry, and we also now know that we are very much so on the road to creating refrigeration related vehicles, which again just opens you up to this whole new market, but you don't necessarily have to change the chassis or any of the machinery. And this is something to keep in mind, guys. Every day I see Amazon, the UPS, Federal Express trucks roll through my community. Workhorse is going after this market that focuses on the last mile deliveries that have become ubiquitous. There is more to it than that, most certainly, and I do think that's where someone like Pritchard and someone like Hitachi comes into play. But let's keep that in mind, baby. It's only a growing market. Now I like this. So you could make a case that if revenue for a company like UPS is going to be like fishing in a barrel, why would it invest in electrifying its fleet? Well, first of all, it already is. Very important to understand. And again, let's think about Biden. Let's think about all of the government incentives that more than likely are going to come out of this, and just EV incentives in general. but second because companies that are interested in converting their existing fleet of LCVs to electric will not be facing the same type of capital expenditure as other commercial electric vehicles. Most LCVs only travel between 100 and 200 kilometers a day. This means the company would be able to employ a nightly recharging regime, which is obvious. Now, competition is heating up, something we need to be aware of. A few people have asked me about this from Ford, okay? We're electrifying the future for business. The zero vehicle emission all electric Ford e-Transit is coming. Am I worried? Not yet. Am I worried about the USPS contract in regards to this vehicle right here? Not in the slightest. It has nothing to do with it. But I mean, it's expected. We knew Ford was going to come out with a vehicle like this, and we know many other companies are going to do so as well. So, no, this is not a concern as of right now. Competition is expected. I'll put it that way. Then we can speak about Rivian, because we all know Amazon has chosen Rivian to help the company manufacture its custom-made LCV. That's fine, Rivian's an awesome company. Now, all of this bad news could be turned around quickly if Workhorse is awarded a long-awaited contract from the United States Postal Service. We all know about this, the $6 to $8 billion contract. That would automatically solve any revenue concerns, and I think that's what we all know. Now, this is still expected to be announced by the end of the year, more than likely within 5 to 6 weeks. Now, that is not a guarantee. It could be pushed back into next year. I'm going to be very surprised if it is, in all honesty. So we can see in general, you know, people are bullish, people are bearish, there's good and bad. That's the way this company has always been, my friends. You know, not too much has changed. But Q3 I'm happy with. So I've explained why Pritchard is so important, because it's not just 500 vehicles, it could be thousands and thousands, and it could also lead to more direct contracts being built down the line with other fleet managers. This is absolutely awesome, and the fact that they got 5 vehicles in Q3 and went back and put in a 500 vehicle order that quickly shows the quality of Workhorse's vehicles. Next thing, we have over $260 million in cash. Now, it's tough to know how long that's really going to last, because there's so many unanswered questions here. Steve Schrader did reaffirm a while ago that he thinks they're already going to get through next year. I think it really depends on what kind of sales start being made and if we can make profit on our sales relatively quickly, because right now expenses are going up and up, and I expect them to keep going up and up. So let's just see what happens. I'm not expecting a lot of money to be made anytime soon, but if we can keep the losses to a minimum, we're going to be in a fantastic cash position. They also did record additional new vehicle sale orders from Fluid Systems and eTrucks LLC. 2 smaller companies, so be it, but that is going to be some sales in our Q4 report straight away. So happy days all in all. And just one more thing on Pritchard companies in case you're not aware, they sell over 30,000 units annually. Now, they're not all going to equate to the kind of customers that are looking for a Workhorse vehicle, but still very established business. So briefly guys, let's speak about what I think the price action may do over the next few days. If the market continues to be green, I think we could be looking at a very nice move right now. So I drew these lines of support and resistance a little while ago, and you can see we bounced off it right here, and look what happened yesterday. Pretty much every 4 hours we were right up here at this area of support, struggling to break out. Now, we did briefly go up all the way to $20, which again is an interesting area. It's a round number, it's a psychological number. You can see pre-market Workhorse hasn't really done anything. We're pretty much at exactly break even, and volume wise there looks to be a considerable amount more people looking to buy than to sell. There is a 15,000 buy order in at 1884. Now that could be fake, it could never get filled, we will have to wait and see. But ultimately, if we begin to move up again, I'm going to be looking for a decent breakout, a relatively quick move to the upside, and it's going to be somewhere around here that I am looking to hit, somewhere around the high 22s, maybe even 23. That would be the next area I'd be looking for, and this previous area of resistance could turn into an area of support. But if we begin to go down again, if we cannot break through here, I think we could well be coming back down towards the 15s, or else just trading in this kind of no man's land for a while. So we just need to see what direction the market chooses. I think if the market does stay bullish, especially the EV market continues to be bullish, even the S&P and the Dow, I think Workhorse can make a nice move upwards relatively soon, but if not, we could well be coming back down. But guys, that is just a little update video on Workhorse. I know we used to do these a lot more often when we just went through some articles, so hopefully some of you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, maybe drop me a comment down below, let me know what you think, and of course feel free to subscribe if you're new around here. And also, if you are interested, please hit that first link in the description, sign up to become a Patreon, my friends. You get full access to my private Discord group, there's over 40 private channels, it's awesome in there. You get my buy and sell alerts as well, loads of juicy information. But anyway, my friends, thank you so much for watching. If you stayed until the end, you are a true legend. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. I will see you for another video soon. Peace.